Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanovishnam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Virupanugacharya Varyamburupamanjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Karuniyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismirahasar Murali Manohara Radhikarastikam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Brindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramarajatama Sri Guru Pada Padma Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sadasya Srimadu Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nitrila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sadasya Srimadu Shila Bhakti Vigyana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shirupano Gauriya Guru Varga, all to learn the Sannyasas, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavas, and to all the assembled devotees here today, and most respect obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So verse number 8. Uchairja gur nrityamana rakta kanturati priyaha Krishna vimarsha mundita yad gitenidam avritam. The gopis, excited to delight with their beloved, were singing sweet songs loudly with their beautiful voices and were dancing. As they drown in bliss from getting the touch of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, their singing reverberated throughout the entire universe. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. So now Shukadeva Goswami, he is glorifying the bliss of the Braja Gopis in dancing with Krishna. And then also the prominence of their singing during that time. So due to the very close contact with Krishna, the gopis, they became very much excited and they started singing in a loud voice. So the gopis, they were singing and dancing at the same time and demonstrating their expertise in both arts. Through their singing and dancing, they expressed their fondness for amorous enjoyment. The way Shri Krishna showed his love was very dear to them. And the way they expressed their love through their singing and dancing was very appealing to Shri Krishna and made him extremely happy. But don't think that the gopis' loud singing and dancing made them tired. Actually, they became very joyful from Krishna's touch. So they did not experience any type of fatigue from singing and dancing. Their singing was loud and pervading the whole universe. And from their singing, all the different musical scales like Raga Ragini appear. So the Sangita Shastra, the authorized scripture about music, states that there are 16,000 different melodies coming from the singing of the Brajadevis. There are as many melodies as there are types of living entities existing in this world. Out of them, the 16,000 that have come from the gopis are the best. Shri Sridhara Swami explained that Shri Krishna gave supreme respect to the gopis for the way they manifested the art of dancing. I think there must be some mistake here. I think it's not dancing, it must be singing, because the context is all about singing, right? So you can please correct that. Rakta Kanti, the throats colored with prema, means the gopis who sing different melodies in a sweet voice due to prema. This sentence indicates that the gopis' voice are very sweet. So the reason the gopis sang loudly is that they were aroused by amorous desire, Rakti Priya, and they were overjoyed to get Krishna's touch. So the gopis, they sang much more loudly than Krishna, and Parashara Muni also wrote about this. He says that in this Rasa Sthali, Shri Krishna was singing as loud as possible. And the gopis praised him by saying, Sadhu Krishna, Sadhu Krishna. But they sang twice as loud as Krishna. So gopis singing, the singing of the gopis is filled with love, elegant and sweet. In this way, the verse 6 tells us that Shri Krishna, surrounded by the Braja gopis in the Rasa Mandala, he looked absolutely sensational. So similarly, this verse is showing how beautiful the gopis looked, as well as how exceptional their singing was. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Saratta Darshini. Dancing is prominent in the Rasa Lila pastimes. After describing the dance that we heard previous shloka, now Shukadeva Goswami speaks about the prominence of singing. Because the gopis, they are dancing and singing very loud at the same time. And Krishna gave so much respect regarding the dancing that they became completely horripilated in joy. So their voices were colored with different raga raginis. There is another scripture called Sangita Sar, which also says that there are as many melodies as there are living beings in this world. Out of this, 16,000 melodies sang by the gopis are the best. So the way Krishna showed his affection previously was very appealing to the gopis. Those gopis became so overjoyed by the lover's intimate touch that they did not experience any fatigue from their energetic dancing. So the sound of their loud singing pervaded the entire universe. And even today, the residents of this world repeat their love-filled singing. Now verse number 9. Kachit samam mukhenda swarajatira mishrita uninye pujitatena priyata sadhu sadviti tad eva dhruvam muninye tasyai manam cha avadat. One gopi was singing her own melody that harmonized with Mukunda Shri Krishna's singing. And then she sang in a pitch that rose above his. Hearing her excellent, unique voice, he became pleased and praised her. Very good, exceptional, exceptional. Another gopi picked up the same melody but sang in a different meter. And Shri Krishna honored her also. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. Beginning with this verse, there are 5.5 verses describing the prominent gopis' different activities by which they express their love. One gopi joined her singing with the melody that Shri Mukunda was singing, and then she sang in a higher tone. Another gopi mixed her song with Krishna's song, and at the same time her voice remained distinct. Being satisfied with her, Krishna honored her. In which way? By saying, excellent, excellent. It means sadhu, sadhu. So he said that twice to emphasize his deep appreciation of her beautiful song. And another gopi continued the melody of the first gopi, but in a more beautiful voice with a unique rhythm. So Krishna paid her even more honor than he gave to the first gopi. So this particular melody, this is called Abhoga Raga, and this is accompanied by the beats called Yati and Nisara. She composed this special melody with these techniques and sang exquisitely. So regarding the musical sounds, the swars, there are 7 principal notes. They are called Shadja, Rishava, Gandhara, Madhyama, Panchama, Devata, and Nishada. In a short term, we call them Sare, Gama, Pada, Nisa. So the Sangita Sar says that the 7 notes have derived from the Shrutis, and they are pleasing to the hearts of the listeners. And so these notes, they are similar to the sounds of the peacock, the chataka bird, the goat, the crane, the cuckoo, the frog, and the elephant, respectively. So the animal sounds are unique and not easily imitated. So then the groups of melodies, they're formed by combining these different 7 notes. So the Sangita Sara classifies these into 18 types, which are further divided into 2 categories. In the first category, all 7 notes are sung in their pure form. In the second category, known as Vikrita, means transformed, some notes are sung in 2 different pitches, Komala, flat, and Tivra, sharp. According to Kaishikya, a variety of dramatic style that presents dancing, singing, and amorous activities, there are 10 varieties altogether. The Gopi singing was distinct from Krishna's singing. They sang Shuddha tones with excellent trios. So this style of singing does not make use of these harmonious notes, and this can only be understood by connoisseurs of music. There is no one whose singing can be compared to the gopis. So you see that the glories of the gopis is such that even the mundane singers, they acknowledge the fact that the gopis are the best singers. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarartha Darshini. The Sangita Sar affirms that the 7 notes, Shadja, Rishabha, Gandhara, Madhyama, Panchama, Devata, and Nishada, have originated from the Shrutis. These notes resemble the sounds of the peacock, chatak, goat, crane, cuckoo, frog, and elephant. But to reproduce them is quite difficult. So the ragas are divided into 18 groups, all of which have 2 subgroups. One is Shuddha pure, having the original 7 notes in their pure forms. And the other group, some notes are sung in different frequencies, known as Vikrita or transformed. So Shri Krishna sang a particular ragini, and one gopi sang along with him. Yet her melody remained distinct. She sang the songs of the Rasa dance in pure tones with great expertise. So seeing this gopi perform this difficult pure singing in such a beautiful and excellent manner, Krishna became overjoyed, and he complimented her by saying, Sadhu, Sadhu, and honored her by presenting his yellow shawl to her, giving his pitambar to her. So this gopi is Vishakha. Another cowherd, another gopi, took the same melody. Her voice was actually oscillating with a particular rhythm known as Dhruvatala. So Shri Krishna showed her even more respect than the previous gopi and gifted her his jeweled necklace, pendant, and rings. So this gopi, endowed with more qualities than Vishakha, is Lalita Devi. So noticing the wonderful singing of these 2 gopis, Radha herself burst into song. So we must understand that Shri Radha is the reservoir of all talents, which manifest in her closest sakhis to a higher degree. Now verse number 10. Kachidirasa parishranta parshostasya gadabrita jagraha bahuna skandam shlatad valaya mallika. One gopi became tired while dancing with her beloved Shri Krishna. So she took hold of Murali Manohar Shyamasundara's shoulder with her arm and rested against him as he was standing next to her. Her bracelets and the jasmine flowers in her braid had come loose. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. So Srila Jiva Goswami has described the qualities of different gopis according to the superiority of their singing and other type of talents they expressed through their prema. So now he explains the love of the primary gopis who are most intimate with Krishna. Among all these gopis, one of them is very fortunate. And this gopi, she became tired and she was standing near Krishna and grabbed his shoulder with her arm. This verse says, Parashvastha, means she was so close to him that it was very easy for her to hold his shoulder. Otherwise, if she would be a little more distant, she could not hold so quick like this. Krishna, he is known as Gadadhara. Gada means the baton, means that small stick that you use to conduct the orchestra, So, therefore, Krishna, he looks very beautiful holding his baton, and therefore he is known as Gadadhar. The other meaning is that the one who is vibrating words through the flute. So Krishna is holding the flute in the Rasa dance, and this is the cause of the beauty. So this shlok uses the word Gadabrita, which means Vamshidhari, the one who is holding the flute. Gadabrita and Gadadhar are the same, but here in this case it means Vamshidhari, means Krishna who is holding the flute. Therefore he is conducting all the gopis as the commander-in-chief of the dancers, by holding his flute. So therefore he is situated in the middle of the Rasa Mandala. So that is very easy for him to conduct all the other dancers. The verse also says about the bracelets and flowers of that gopi, they were loose. It means that she was tired. So the flowers in her bracelets and also braids loosened and fell down on the ground due to the very intense dancing. Sri Parashara Muni also, he said that some gopi, being very tired from dancing, she placed on Shri Krishna's shoulder her creeper-like arm, which was decorated with the bracelets that were shaking. So it should be understood that the jasmine flowers, they came loose to the ground. The decorations of the gopi's body represents one type of anubhava or ecstatic symptom. Like being decorated is a sign of amorous enjoyment. So the symptom of Madhurya is that all activities naturally display charm and beauty in every situation. So it was understood that this gopi, she was in the center of the Rasa Mandala, exhibiting the mood of Swadhina Bhartrika, the heroine who controls her lover, and she is none other than Radhika. So the two previous verses described about Lalita and Vishaka, but now this one speaks about Radharani as an independent heroine. So Lalita and Vishaka singing and dancing, they're just like instruments to help to increase Radha Krishna's lila. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sharata Darshini. So after describing the dancing, singing of the prominent Sakis, Lalita and Vishaka, this verse talks about the most fortunate Saki, Sri Radha. Sri Radha, she became very tired from dancing, and with her right hand she caught hold of Krishna's shoulder, who is known as Gadabrita, and who was standing very close by. So Gada means the one who understands and nourishes their singing, and who appreciates also the depth of the singing of the other two Sakis. Bracelets and jasmine flowers in Radharani's hair came loose. In this way, the Swadhina Kanta Bhava of this Ramani, Srimati Radhika, was manifested, because she can control her lover Krishna. So here we can again see the example of Swadhina Bhartrika, the one, the heroine who can control the hero. So it's being shown that Radha, she's controlling the rasa, she's controlling Krishna. Radharani is Raseshwari, but Krishna is not Raseshwara. Krishna is only Rasaraja. Means Radha is the controller of rasa, and Krishna is the enjoyer of rasa. So now verse 11. Tatrekam sagatam bahum Krishna syutpala saurabam chandana liptam agraya rishtaroma chuchumbaha. Shri Krishna put his soft hand on one gopi's shoulder, his hand naturally scented like a lotus, and now more fragrant, being smeared with the sandalwood pulp. In response to his aromatic touch, that gopi thrilled with rapture. Her hairs stood on end, and she quickly kissed his hand. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshami. In this verse, Shukadeva Goswami, he is surely describing the joy of Shyamala, because he is now speaking something very similar to what he spoke in the verse number 4 of the previous chapter, 32. So She kissed Krishna's hand, which is more fragrant than the lotus, and which was resting on her shoulder. So his arm had been smeared with sandalwood paste. So his arms was like artistically anointed with different types of scented cosmetics. So being completely helpless in prema, this gopi's hairs stood on end, and she openly kissed Krishna's hand. So also she manifested this horripilation out of bliss, because her heart was filled with joy. Her heart was so full of joy that she kissed Krishna's lotus hand without hesitation. This shows her boldness, pragalbhata, which is one of the anubhavas, ecstatic symptoms. So according to scholars, when kissing and other amorous activities are performed without any type of reticence or means restriction at the time of union, then this is called pragalbhata. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Saratta Darshini. One gopi kissed Krishna's hand, which was resting on her shoulder. Shri Krishna's hands is more fragrant than a lotus, and the sandalwood fragrance could not cover his natural aroma. So this gopi must be Shamala, because her behavior is very similar to the Shamala described in the verse 4 of chapter 32. Now verse 12. Kasyas chinnatya vikshipta kundala tvisha manditam gandam gande sandadatya pradattam bula charvitam. Another gopi's earrings were swinging as she was dancing, and the glitter of the earrings made her cheeks shine more. She pressed her cheek against Bhagavan Shri Krishna's cheek. Then he placed his chewed tambula in her mouth. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. So the gopi mentioned in this verse is Shabya, who is accepting the chewed tambula in her joined palms, like this. Krishna is spitting here his chewed tambula. So on the pretext of being tired from the dancing, she put her cheek against Krishna's cheek. It means that Krishna, he brought his mouth in front of this gopi's mouth. And with great affection, he transferred the chewed tambula from his mouth to hers. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Saratta Darshini. Some gopis' cheeks were decorated with the effulgence of her earrings, which were swaying as she danced. She touched her cheek to Krishna's cheek on the excuse of being tired. And Shri Krishna brought his mouth close to hers, and with great honor, transferred his chewed tambula into her mouth. So this gopi is called Shaibya. Verse 13. Nitati gayati kachit kujam nupura mekhala parshvastachuta hastabjam shrantadad sthannayo shivam. As one gopi was dancing and singing, a sweet sound emanated from the ringing of her ankle bells and the small bells on her waist belt. When she wearied, she put Achyuta's soothing lotus hand on her breast. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. In the verse number 4 of the previous chapter, the gopi who caught hold of Krishna's right hand is Chandravali. And she is also mentioned in this particular verse now, which describes her love filled with play. And she started to sing and dance, and this caused her ankle bells and waist bells to chime in time with the rhythm of her dancing. Krishna was standing next to her, and she kept his lotus hand on her breast. Here, Krishna is called as Achyuta, because it means the one who is situated next to the gopi without diverting his attention. So Shri Krishna's hands are like lotuses because they can alleviate burning affliction. This is why this gopi, means Chandravali, she kept his auspicious and comforting hand on her breast when she became extremely tired. So in this way, these 6 verses in sequence, they described the different love dealings between the 6 main gopi Sakhis. The 7th Sakhi, Padma, displays almost the same symptoms as Chandravali. So her love play should also be understood to be very similar to Chandravali's. So the eighth Sakhi, Bhadra, has been mentioned in Vishnu Purana as one gopi who is especially expert in singing Krishna's glories. He started kissing Krishna's arms. Shri Jayadeva Goswami also has confirmed this eighth Sakhi as Bhadra. He mentioned that Sri Radhika, blinded by love, embraced Sri Krishna very tightly in front of the lovely maidens, overwhelmed in ecstasy of the Rasa dance. Bhadra's loving character and the playful actions she displayed in front of Radha are intimated. Means very close, very, very similar. Okay, now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarata Darshini. One gopi went close to Shri Krishna and placed his hand on her breasts, and thus alleviated the heat generated from her strenuous dancing and singing. She is definitely Chandravali, because she is holding Krishna's lotus hand. Another Sakhi, Padma, is also known to take hold of Krishna's hands. So in the verse number 5 of the previous chapter, mentions that one Sakhi kept Krishna's lotus foot on her breast, but now she is keeping his lotus hands on her breast. In both these cases, the heat of the breast is extinguished. There is no any direct mention about the eighth Sakhi being Bhadra, yet it should be understood that she is performing some special love play with Krishna. Verse 14. Gopyo labdva chitam kantam shriya ekanta valabam grihita kantyastada durbhyam gayantyastam vijarire. As the gopis were singing and enjoying love play with their darling Achyuta, the infallible, the exclusive beloved of Lakshmi, he clasped them in a tight embrace with his arms around their necks. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. Achyuta is Shri Krishna, who is delighting with so many gopis, yet the glories of his beauty, qualities and nature remain consistent. They never undergo any deviation. So to attain this, Shri Krishna is the rarest of the rare, the Kanta Vallabha. He is the supermost lover and the object of prema, more than Sri Vaikunthanatha, the exclusive master of Lakshmi Devi. So here we can see that another meaning of the word Achyuta. We know Achyuta as the infallible one, but here Achyuta also means the one who is one pointed to only one gopi and whose beauty, qualities and nature remains always unchanged. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:16-36, it says that Shri Krishna as the object of Lakshmi Devi's love, that Shri Krishna is also the object of Lakshmi Devi's love. So the verse says that to achieve Krishna she underwent severe austerities, but she could not attain him as her lover. Only the gopis were successful in this regard. Not only did they attain him, but he could not tolerate even a moment's separation from them. And he clasped their necks in a tight embrace. The gopis, they were blissfully singing Krishna's glories and frolicking with him. This shows the greatness of the Brajadevis as compared to Lakshmi Devi. Uddhava also experienced the same thing. He said in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-60 that at the time of Rasa Lila, Shri Krishna held onto the necks of the Brajadevis in a tight embrace and fulfilled their desires. The mercy he bestowed upon them was not received by his eternal consort Lakshmi Devi, who always resides on his chest, nor by the heavenly themselves, or who are as fragrant as lotuses and dazzlingly beautiful, and what we speak of other women. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarata Darshini. So in this way, the principal gopis and all the others were enjoying playful love games with Krishna according to their own particular natures. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:16-36 says in the prayers of the Nagapatinis, the wives of the Kaliya serpent, that Lakshmi Devi performed austerities with the desire to get the dust of Krishna's lotus feet, but did not succeed. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-60, Uddhava says that the favor received by the gopis was not attained even by Lakshmi Devi. Sri Vihad Bhagavatamrita also tells a story from the Puranas that Lakshmi Devi was enamored by witnessing Krishna's beauty and performed penances to attain him, but could not. The beloved of Sri Narayana, Lakshmi Devi, desires to have Krishna's association, but this is impossible. In the explanation of the verse, Kanta means extremely passionate, and Achyuta means that Krishna's glories remain intact even when he is lying with so many gopis at the same time. So it means that each gopi attained this extremely passionate, extremely beautiful, beloved Shri Krishna as her own. So here, when it says that Krishna's glories remain intact, even among so many gopis, it means that he did not behave in a different way with some of them, but he behaved in his full capacity with each one of them. So he lovingly embraced each and every one of them with his arms. Achyuta held each gopi in his arms just as Shri Narayana clasped Lakshmi Devi to his chest. So Krishna is also Lakshmi Devi's beloved, because Shri Narayana and Krishna are no different in tattva. Now verse 15. Karnot palalaka vitanka kapula dharma vaktra shriyo balayanupura goshavadde gopyasamang bhagavata nanritu swakesha srastasrajo brahmara gaya karasa goshtyam. The gopis' ears were embellished with lotuses. Their curly locks were swaying against their cheeks, and their lotus faces were sparkling with drops of perspiration. All of these enhanced their unprecedented beauty. Their anklets and bracelets were ringing out, and the flowers in their hair were falling down as they were dancing with Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the Rasa Mandala. Bees hummed sweetly in tune with the singing. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshami. So in this verse, we see that the glories of the Braja Sundaris far outshine those of Lakshmi Devi. Lotuses on their ears, curly locks on their cheeks, and the drops of perspiration on their faces created a beauty never seen before. Although the Braja Devis were fatigued from dancing and singing, they were still shining brightly. The reason for this ecstatic dancing was that these cowherd themselves attained the association of Krishna in his most stunning, unparalleled form. These gopis are completely controlled by his love. Samam Bhagavata means that the gopis are also as adept as Krishna in amorous affairs. So it is to be understood that he also was decorated like the gopis, with lotuses on his ears, curly locks on his cheeks, and perspiration sparkling on his face. Krishna himself had placed the lotuses on the Brajasundari's ears. In this Rasa festival, the bees had taken the position of singers, and marvelously they sang songs appropriate for Rasa Lila. All the gopis' bracelets, waist bells, and anklets were ringing, sounding like instruments, and the honey of the bees also made the same sounds. This combination created a tumultuous vibration. All these sounds were favorable for the dancing. As soon as all the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and other demigods saw the Rasa dance, they also became inspired to dance. The verse 3 of this chapter mentions the demigods with the word Divokasam, but in the present verse, though not mentioned Kinnaras, Gandharvas, etc., they are understood to be present there. Intoxicated in bliss, they were trying to play musical instruments, but actually, in this Rasa Lila, the gopis did not need any accompaniment. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarvata Darshini. The excellence of the singing and dancing has been described in many verses before. Now, the present verse depicts how the Brajasundaris dancing augmented the effulgence of their faces to the fullest extent. So there was a presence of the lotus flower on the upper part of the ear. Their cheeks were decorated with curly locks, and their lotus faces were perspiring from the labor of dancing, and this heightened their superbly beautiful appearance. With the movement of their dancing limbs, their bracelets, anklets, and waist belts were chiming, thus keeping the rhythm of the dancing. Drums, flutes, and other instruments sounded by themselves in time with the chiming sound. The presiding deities of these instruments appeared there and sang in a great bliss, thus making their lives successful. So it's very interesting because all these instruments, they have also personalities behind. So it's just like if the mridanga is playing the mridanga itself, like the flute is playing the flute itself. So it means it can be played in the best way. So the Brajadevis were dancing in the same way as Krishna, So they became helplessly overwhelmed from the joy of dancing with him. Their heads were shaking in unison with the rhythm of the movements of their feet, and the flower garlands stuck in their hair buns started falling. So it seemed like the flowers, in appreciation of the gopis' skillful dancing, were happily falling on the lotus feet of Krishna, who was dancing next to them. And many bees, they were attracted by the fragrance of these flowers, and they began to sing also together in the dance festival. Verse 16. Evam parishwanga karabhimarsham snigdekshanodama vilasahasai reme ramesho braja sundarivir jathar bhakaswa pratibimba vibhramaha. Ramapati, Shri Krishna, the master of the goddess of fortune, danced with the beautiful Braja maidens, embracing them, holding their hands, casting love-filled glances, smiling and enjoying carefree amorous play with them, just as a child plays with his own shadow. So this verse is very important because this verse shows that there is no any mundane lust in the relation between Krishna and the gopis, because they are Krishna's own expansions. So it means that when Krishna is dancing and playing with the gopis, actually he is doing that with his own self. In which sense, just like the child is playing with its own shadow, means without any trace of mundane lust and completely innocently, he's just playing with that. So now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. So the gopis were engaged in amorous play, displaying various inviting gestures, and Shri Krishna was reciprocating with them appropriately. So this verse compares Shri Krishna's play with his gopis, who are his own potencies, to a small boy who plays with his own shadow. So Krishna and the gopis, they were copying each other's playful activities. Krishna, like a wonder-struck boy, has a natural tendency for amorous affairs. And the result of this is the advent of his Rasa Lila, comprised of beautiful romantic exchanges. So this example of the child amusing himself with his shadow makes it clear that it is the gopis only who bring out Krishna's qualities. So it is to be understood that Krishna also exhibits and relishes his sweetness through his beloveds. It is not possible for Krishna's sweetness to manifest without the love-filled attitude of the gopis, whose faces reflect his extreme sweetness. So it means that the gopis for Krishna is like a mirror. Krishna can see himself reflected in gopis. So Krishna is the master of Lakshmi. He is Ramesh, because Lakshmi's name is Rama. But he enjoyed with the Braja gopis in an excellent, unparalleled way. He did not do this with Lakshmi Devi herself. So this means that the beauty, the qualities and love of the Braja gopis are greater than Lakshmi Devi's love. Shri Krishna is the master of Lakshmi Devi, but he does not perform romantic activities with her. Shukadeva Goswami, he relates this with great surprise in this verse. Just as a child plays with his own reflection, so Ramapati, Krishna, also plays with the gopis. By embracing them, freely caressing their breasts and thighs, sending them love-filled glances, and communicating his love emotions through his smiles. Krishna and the gopis share the same excellent qualities and mutual attachment. This is shown in this shlok, Swapratibimba Vibhramaha. Just as a child naturally feels happy when he plays with his own reflection, Krishna is similarly absorbed with great love in enjoying with the gopis, because they are his Swarupa Shakti, his own reflections. So with this intention, they were previously called Krishna Vadu and not Gopa Vadu. In Brahma Samhita 5.37, it says, Shri Govinda, who is all-pervading and who exists within the hearts of all, resides in his Goloka Dham along with Shri Radha, who is the embodiment of his pleasure potency and a counterpart of his own spiritual form. She is the epitome of transcendental Rasa and is expert in 64 arts. They are also accompanied by the Sakis, who are expansions of Radha's own transcendental body, and who are infused with blissful spiritual rasa. Govinda Mahadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship that original personality, Sri Govinda. So whatever gestures Krishna is doing is being copied by the gopis, who serve as his reflections. In this way, with great attachment, they play with each other. The word snigdha, affection, indicates the gopis and Krishna's profound attachment for each other. Sri Parashara Muni has explained this sattvic anubhav of Krishna in this way. Due to touching the gopis' cheeks with his hands, Krishna's hairs stand on end, and drops of perspiration appear, evoking the image of a cloud releasing raindrops on grass. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarata Darshini. Krishna experienced amorous pleasure to the fullest extent by engaging in all the various activities of rasa, like dancing and singing. So he embraced each gopi while he was dancing. Krishna tasted a vast variety of amorous pleasure in a very close contact with the gopis. And he touched their left breasts with his right hand to mark the rhythm at the end of each song. So in between each dance, he lovingly gazed at the cleavage of their breasts. He rewarded them with his kisses. This is called Uddama Vilas. And then his face bloomed with a broad smile, showing his contentment in having fully enjoyed many amorous activities with the gopis. Ramesh is Lakshmi Pati, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Krishna displays his majesty with Lakshmi, but he partakes of amorous pleasure with the Brajadevis, not with Rama. Bhagavan Shri Krishna amorous sporting with the gopis is like the play of a baby with his shadow. Just as a child becomes enchanted by playing with his shadow, similarly Krishna was playing with the gopis, overpowered by their love. One might raise the question, how could Krishna frolic with unlimited gopis at one time? So these sweet romantic dealings with the Braja gopis exhibit the utmost opulence, but this is not like his majestic behavior with Ramadevi. So the fact is that each gopi is the counterpart of his swarupa, his own form. So this is the significance of the verse Swapratibimba. It's Jatha Swapratibimba. It means the gopis are like Krishna's own reflection, own form. So the meaning of Bimba or Swarupa is derived from the conversation between Uddhav and Vidura in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:2-11. Shri Krishna descended to earth in his eternal form, Swabimba, and was visible to everyone, even to those who had not performed any penances. Now he has disappeared from sight without satisfying our hankering for him. These gopis are expansions of Krishna's pleasure potency, Haladini Shakti, which is an integral part of his own internal potency, Swarupa Shakti. All the cowherd maidens are reflections of his Swarupa for the purpose of giving him pleasure. This Lila is the exhibition of his deriving joy from his own reflections, Atma Buddha. This is the accurate explanation of Swapratibimba. It is not actually correct to say his own shadow. So very nice conclusion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to explain that it's actually not like shadow. It is like Krishna's own self, his own Swarupa. So if anyone raises any doubt about the character of Krishna, we can see that Srimad Bhagavatam itself says that the gopis are actually none other than Krishna himself. So vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo.